So far we have created our workspaces, we have created our collections, and we have created or we have sent our API requests. So now it's time to look into the way to export it and the way to import it from and out of our Postman desktop environment. So a Postman can import and export Postman data, including collections, environments, data dumps, and globals. Postman can also import non-Postman data in the form of API schemas to help you consolidate your API development workflow. So, so here we will import data into Postman. For that, we will get into our Postman, and let me close this one for now. And uh, to import collections or any API specifications directly into Postman, so we have to click on import soft button. Let me zoom it. Yeah, it's enough. Is it visible for you? I hope it is. So this button I'm saying, I'll zoom it completely, and here is that. So this import button, so we'll click on this import button, and it opens up, it pops up a window. So inside that window, so uh, you can import either file or a complete folder or a link. This is the folder. We can basically import from folder from our computer, and here it's files. We have to choose a link. Either we can provide a link here with the JSON format or raw text, so that we can use a curl and code repositories. We can get it from the code repository. For that you have to say GitHub or Bitbucket or GitLab or Azure, whichever is. Then finally we can use API gateway. So API gateway, Amazon web services API gateway or Azure API management, whichever is the one we can include. Okay, so if we have anything we can import from the GitHub. So let's click on import in the left navigation button. So once we clicked on, so this window opens up, and then here we can import from that code repositories from GitHub also. So Charan API, you're leaving the Postman and you're being directed to this https://github.com. To complete the authorization, we have to click on continue. So that's it. So we are entering into my GitHub account. So it's asking me for the permission to authorize the Postman, then it's done. So Postman by Postman Incorporation. So these are all repositories that we have here. So I have to give a grant request. So I'm granting request. So password it's asking. Let me. Yeah. I'm gonna click on. Yes, it's granted. The permission has been granted. So then I have to say authorize Postman Labs. Let me authorize that so that it can fetch the data. So GitHub, you're authorized. You can close this tab and continue in Postman. That's it. So now let me get back to the Postman. So we can import from the code repositories. So now it's been authorized. So now whatever we mentioned there, so that can be imported. So if we have specifically API files, so those can be selected and then imported. And here you should see, so it's been authenticated on GitHub as this. Yeah, of course, this is my account. So now this consists, this organization, there are two organizations. One is VTI automation team, that's Volvo Trucks India automation, Volvo automation team. Then Surya Charan Tesla. Let me select one. So inside that we have few repositories. That's Jenkins automation script. Let me select. And inside that we have only two branches, main and master. So I can select one branch, and if I click continue, so the whole data will be fetched here. Okay. So that's the process. So that's how we import data into our local machine through the import option. Okay. Similarly, we have imported from the GitHub repositories. Similarly, we can authorize other uh, other code repositories also, such as Bitbucket. Okay, we can do it for the GitLab repositories, we can do it for the Azure DevOps repositories, but the process may slightly different. But authorization, once authorization is done, rest all fall in place. So I'll close this for now. So now let's find out a way to export Postman data that you have created. Okay, so we can export our Postman data, including collections, environments, data dumps, and globals as JSON files. You can import these files back into any Postman instance or use them with Newman. So Postman's command line collector, basically Postman's command line collection runner. Either anyway, so either the way we can do that. Okay. So then what we have else? It's either now anything we can export collection or request or even workspaces. So now let's export and see. So we can export the files and all the information. Okay, so now let's export. For that we have to click on more actions icon. So you see that here. So whichever we want to export, let me click on this, because this is one collection, this is another collection. So now this collection, this is the collection I want to export. Then I have to select that collection. Or if I want to export this requests, of course there are no requests, there are no environments, no mock servers, no monitors, no flows. That's okay. So let me click on to the collections, and this is our collection. So I want to export this one, so I'll click on this more actions icon, and then I'll scroll down a bit. So when I scroll down a bit, I would find out export item in this. So I'm zooming it. This is what I'll zoom it. You see that? And yep, this is what an export. So I'll click on this, and it's asking to export as a JSON format. That's fine, but collection version 2 or collection version 2.1. So it's recommending that. So now let me click on, I'll go with the collection version 2.1 only, and I'll click on export. So this is the Postman, this is my working directory. So here it's gonna export it. So let me save it. That's it. Your collection was exported successfully. So now let me minimize. Now let me zoom out. Okay. So zoomed out. So now similarly we can export environments. For that you have to come to the environment. If you have defined any environment here, you have to go to the more actions icon, and then you have to basically export it. And similarly we can do for the data dumps. So that for data dumps, what we have to do is we have to get into the settings icon and click on settings and go to the data tab, and inside the data tab, if you have a data, so basically you can either export the data dumps from here. Okay, exporting data from here. That's what is the exporting data dumps. And similarly, we can uh, this export page when we can also do some scheduling and all that information. So for that, but that's for the exporting data dumps. When you export a data dump, we can schedule your data dump. We can transfer the data dump at a certain schedule. That's how it works. Okay, so that's what is all about or importing and exporting of the data.